This one here is almost like a park road, and it can be extremely rough, and well, like I said, it can be extremely rough. Well, what's up, riders? Old Man Ronin here, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are back on the SCRAM 411, the Himalayan SCRAM 411. That's what it's called by Royal Enfield. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm having an absolute riot running this motorcycle. I mean, and I guess there's a reason why, and the main reason why is the familiarity I have already. Well, why is that? Number one, I think it's because the fact that it's basically a Himalayan that's been changed just a little bit to give it more road friendly, as I think that's the best way to say it, more road friendly. Hey, I turned my turn signals off. More road friendly, because it really does a fantastic job handling on these back roads, and I think that's what this bike was made specifically for, is doing some light off-road riding and also a lot of these backcountry roads. It's a fun bike, man, I'm telling you. I sit back all the time, and I you know, after riding some of these motorcycles, and I think, man, I want all the things. Why can't I have lots of money instead of good looks? No! Yeah, I know. I guess I don't really have either, do I? But I'll tell you what I'm finding out from this motorcycle is, particularly like going into these corners and stuff like that, this thing handles, now the Himalayan handles great too, but this thing handles just a little bit differently. And if you guys watched my live stream the other day, been about a week and a half ago, maybe a week ago, I don't know when it's going to come out, but what I'm trying to get at is the live stream. I mentioned the fact that it gives me a lot more maneuverability, because number one, the smaller front tire, the 19 versus the 21, and it's a little bit wider obviously on the road, plus the fact that it's got a little bit different rake, the wheelbase is a little shorter. Well, let me put the specs up there right now. You know, that's one of the things I'm going to start doing every time I run one of these motorcycles. I know a lot of you numbers guys out there just love that stuff, and I get it. So we're going to start putting, every time we do a new bike ride, we're going to start putting some of the specs in on pretty much every one of the videos. Now, the video you saw, the last video you saw from the SCRAM was my first initial ride. Well, this is my third ride, to be honest with you, and we filmed a little bit on the dirt, which is going to be incorporated into both of these videos. And let me put some of that footage in here right now. Yeah, I'll tell you, the thing did remarkably well. Now, I was on some deer trails, and the deer trails were ones that I carved out, and they're a little bit easier. It's just dirt underneath the grass is what that is, or if it's just a dirt floor. There wasn't any gravel or anything underneath it. It's truly former deer trail, excuse me, that I transformed into basically a little path for me to ride my Himalayan and dirt bikes, and well, now this thing. Unfortunately, I have to give it back here in a few days, but we're going to try to get as much videos as we can out. And the goal today is to show you how she handles like that right there. Basically the same or similar type of tracks that I ride pretty much all my motorcycles on, with the addition of gravel. And I can't wait to get on that and see how she handles there as well too. But man, beautiful day. Temperature's about 55 degrees. Man, I'll tell you what, when fall hit, it frickin' hit. we had 91 degrees on the day before fall came in, and the day fall came in, she dropped in a high of 55. And what? And it's been like, I think we had a high of 72 the other day, but primarily it's been in the 50s, 60s, and 70s pretty much, and down into the 40s at night. Winter's coming, as they say on the Game of Thrones. But this bike is doing extremely well on the chip and seal so far, and I'm tickled with that. I think she's a good handling bike. But man, I'll tell you what, she does a remarkable job back here, and the acceleration is good. No, it's great. I really like this bike. I like bike. I really do. And this one here, I like the way she looks. Yeah, man, I just don't. Why am I not rich? Because this would be a really fun first bike for a lot of guys and gals. I'm not kidding. It is. I said the Himalayan's a great first bike, and it is. The Meteor's a great first bike, but if you want to do a combination of a little off-road and on-road, so far. Now we'll find out when we get to the gravel here to be a better test, because I have not really taken it other than my notorious driveway on any really gravel roads. But here's one of my favorite twisty roads, and they're pretty aggressive. Yeah, she handles nice. I'll tell you, I do feel she handles a little bit better in the corners than the old Himalayan, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Oh yeah, it's fun, man. Isn't this beautiful? Don't you wish you were me? Acceleration is really nice. And the engine braking is similar to the Himalayan. Well, the engine's identical. They did some changes to the ECU, I do know that. We're going to go down this road here, because this leads to my favorite gravel road. And you know we got to hit that. Well, one of the main differences in this bike between the Himalayan, there's a little bit, like maybe a half an inch of ground clearance difference, and I think that it does not have a center stand, which really surprised me, but it does not have that, because pretty much all the other bikes do. Well, most of them do, like the Meteor and things like that, but it doesn't have a center stand, and I think that's the reason why, is to maintain that ground clearance. But you know, I love the nacelle on the front of this. That accoutrement. Hey, I said it right. Around the headlight, I think it's just beautiful. I love the way it looks. It kind of reminds me of that concept bike that they came out with for the SG650. I think it looks a lot like that, and maybe they're going to incorporate that in other motorcycles as well.
That's right, guys, it's time for another Maxx Eyewear motorcycle specific sunglass giveaway from Old Man Ronin. All you have to do is be a subscriber, make a comment below on this video of what time you saw Little Ronin roll by, and send me an email to oldmanronin@gmail.com, and you're entered for this month's giveaway.
But it always gets really gravelly right here. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, I knew you were here. Ba-bump. Suspension is good. Like I said, I hit a couple bumps here just to prove it. Let's go here. Let's see, there's a good one. Oh yeah, but you know what? It's not bad. It doesn't kick me. It just tells me that, hey, there's a bump. Another one here. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's not bad at all. You do get a little bit of shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake.
It does a shimmy, shimmy, shake.
It's pretty much negligible. I'm going to probably hang around 35-40 miles an hour on this gravel road, which is where I like to tell people, until you get confidence in what you're doing, to stay around those speeds or under. You can go too slow on gravel. I do know that, but this thing it's not bad at all. I'm telling you, a little bit of shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake, which you're going to get on gravel no matter what, but it's not bad at all. I'm I'm tickled, man. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the old SCRAM, Himalayan SCRAM 411. But she's handling the gravel and these back roads exceptionally well. And again, I'm running 30, 35, 40 miles an hour on back here, and I'm not getting a lot of drifting. That makes me happy. You never know. There's some bikes, man, that you just are all over the frickin' place with them. The suspension seems really nice. Again, I got it set right from the dealer, so it is what it is. It's not gonna. I haven't changed it. Would I firm it up a little bit? Maybe. That hill's always a blind curve at the top, and I never know what's coming in that lane over there, so I always make sure I swing wide. And now we're at our favorite gravel road, number 2. This one here is almost like a park road, and it can be extremely rough, and we'll, like I said, it can be extremely rough. We'll do a little standy uppy here. I don't know how she's going to look, but oh yeah. You know, it's kind of funny because the way that this bike is set up, I wouldn't mind having a little bit of riser on it for standing up purposes, because you know, that's I do have longer legs and I'm up higher, and so I am leaning forward a little bit. So in this kind of situation, risers would be better. However, I'm not at the extent of my reach, which means that since I probably would do since I have both the Himalayan and be able to ride this right now, I probably would not put risers on this. I would keep it to exactly the way she is. Oh man. Yeah, this is good. This thing does really, really well. Good low end torque. Like I said, we haven't dropped a gear at all coming up this hill, and that's kind of impressive. Get all the way, Chipmunk. Haven't needed to drop a gear. We're doing 40 miles an hour. Beautiful back here, isn't it? And a little crest on this hill. Oh yeah. Yeah, we've pretty much taken this whole road so far on standing up just to get a feel for how she's going to be. Yeah, I don't know if like I said, good bump. If I did this all the time standing up, I would probably have to put the risers on, because I am leaning a little bit more than I would like to. I put 40 millimeters on my Himalayan to give me the right reach. But yeah, sitting back down here, slowed down to 30 miles an hour, but yeah. I probably would, on this particular road here, air down a little bit on the tires as well too, to give myself a little bit more bite, and maybe eliminate a little bit more of that shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake. But again, this test was right out of the box, baby. So we wanted to get a feel for how she really, truly felt. Engine braking is good. Suspension feels good. Like I said, you know, one of the reasons why they call this the Himalayan SCRAM 411, because that's exactly what it is. It is a Himalayan that has a little bit less stuff on it. But it behaves very, very similar. Very, very similar. Like I said, I do think it handles a little bit better on the road. The Himalayan does a little bit better. It does better in the gravel too, no question about it. And especially off-road, where you have to climb over logs and things like that. That extra ground clearance of just even a little bit makes a big difference. And the fact that that 21-inch tire will roll over small obstacles a lot easier, or large obstacles a lot easier than the 19 will. But if you had to have one bike, which would you choose? Put that down in the comments. Tell me what you think. What you've seen so far of what we've talked about. Oh, man. But I'll tell you what, guys. Fantastic. This thing does a great job on the gravel roads. Yeah. So our gravel road test, big thumbs up, baby. She did remarkable. I'm tickled with it. Good acceleration. And of course, guys, I always preach on these single cylinders to run them through their rev ranges. And that way you get a good feel of how the bike pulls. A lot of guys, particularly like if they have a bike like a Harley Davidson, or pretty much insert your favorite brand here, they quick shift. They don't run it through its rev range. And I know some of them have so much power that if you run it through its rev range, you're doing 120 miles an hour. With this bike here, these bikes in particular, you want to run them through their rev range, and you'll be surprised of how quick to acceleration that they actually get. Well, we've learned a lot about this bike today. How well she does in the gravel, how well she does on these backcountry roads, you know, in both chip and seal, regular pavement, you know, not in great shape pavement, you know, with no center line, which is basically 35-40 mile an hour roads max, and how well she did, and of course the gravel as well too, and let alone, you know, some of those deer trails that we mentioned early in the video. So it's this bike is handling everything that I've wanted to put at it. Not everybody's lucky enough to be able to have more than one motorcycle, and I think this fits the realm of the one motorcycle. You can ride it fast, you can ride it slow, you can ride it on gravel, you can ride it on the tarmac, and you're going to have fun wherever you want to take the Himalayan SCRAM 411. Well, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Share and comment. You know I read all the comments and comment on as many as I possibly can. Until next time, guys, ride safe, and as always, keep her on two wheels, baby.